What the hell is this moment with your brothers when I was younger? I was playing outside when I saw my brother laughing like a maniac on the other side of the house in the backyard. I went to see what was happening, and he was gleefully peeing into my dog's open mouth while the dog was licking my little sister. She looked at me with dead eyes once and told me, "You have demons in you." I asked her what she was talking about, and she kind of went back to doing her thing. The girl was about 8 years old, so I don't think she was trying to troll me. I was winning a watermelon eating contest with her. My sister, realizing she wasn't going to win against me, grabbed her 6th watermelon and hit me in the back of the head with it. She managed to knock me out doing that. I woke up and went downstairs, and the living room was a mess. There were drops of blood on the floor, and I saw small stains here and there on the wall. I asked my girlfriend what the hell happened, worried someone got hurt or something. "Your brothers had a scissor fight," she tells me. "A scissor fight?" Those 2 damn brain surgeons grabbed the crafting scissors and went at each other in my living room while my girlfriend watched in horror and awe. They had already gone to the hospital by the time I woke up, but the evidence was hard to miss. Once when I came home from school, I found a horse in the garden. My brother had bought it from a nearby gypsy camp. My brother tried to take my life. He was 13 and I was 9. He had always been a bully and relentlessly harassed me. But on that day, he threw me to the ground and started squeezing my neck with both hands. Not in the way you see on TV when someone chokes you, but in the right way, where you jam both thumbs into someone's windpipe. Couldn't breathe, couldn't yell. I could only feel cold, and my vision started tunneling. Suddenly, my mother hit him on the head with a broom. I don't remember much after that, but I'll never trust him. Once, I was traveling, and my brother came in, started peeing, and yelled, "2 points!" I shared this before, but it seems relevant here. Once, I walked past the bathroom to get to my room. My brother had left the door open and was standing on the toilet seat, waiting for me to pass. When he saw me, he exclaimed, "This is how a man shifts gears." He made a loud noise and dropped a thick log right in front of my eyes. My younger sister, at 11, was 30 centimeters taller than me. At 18, I was very small and sickly. She used to hit me with household objects, shove me, do a bunch of awful things. Our parents defended her, saying she was just mentally unstable. General abuse isn't really the worst thing. It's quite normal. She was tasked with picking me up from a school club once. She demanded I buy her ice cream. On the way home, I only had money for milk. On the way home, Mom asked me to get it. She flipped out, called me many names an 11-year-old shouldn't know, shoved me into the road in front of a car, got the milk truck home, leaving me there after being hit by a car. She's 17 now and swears it never happened, though I have scars to prove it, and all the other times she hurt me, threatened me, the way she attacks me now, stealing my money and other things. My parents still defend her. I'm starting to see why she acted like that. I regret moving back in with the family. My sister found her inner voice thought when she was 4. She came down to the kitchen totally disturbed and said, "Who's talking to me all the time? Everywhere I go, someone talks to me about the things I do, but I can't see anyone." This time I was sleeping, and my little brother came in and went to bed with me. I was like, "What are you doing? This isn't your bed." He replied, "I think I know what I'm doing," and instantly fell asleep. I went to sleep in his bed. As for that story, whenever he has a chance to embarrass my brother, I was about 9 and he was 16. Thanksgiving dinner at our grandparents' house, it was just the 2 of us in the kitchen, each with a slice of pumpkin pie. My little brother grabs the salt shaker from the table, mentally unscrews the lid, dumps the whole salt shaker on his pie, eats it, making eye contact with me the whole time. He looked like he knew what he was doing, so I didn't question it. 20 minutes later, he's following you down the hall, and he talks and vomits all over the walls and floor. He goes by adults asking what the problem is. His response, "Too much sun." I was the only one who knew what he meant. My sister bitterly complained about why you buy a new car and your own apartment. The answer was, "Because I work to live," which apparently was a deeply offensive thing to say. When my mother was terminally ill, my sister was the only other family we had here. My grandparents and aunt lived about a mile away at the time. My husband and I took over practically everything, taking mom to the doctor, doing repairs and maintenance on her house, often out of our own pockets as mom had an extremely fixed income and bills. Doctors used every penny to do the grocery shopping for her to cook, clean, and so on. I would spend almost every day after work at my mother's house and then hours every weekend. I only had a day off if I was sick and couldn't be near her. Then my sister would reluctantly agree. And then, Mom, I found out during the last months of a mother's life when my grandparents and I finally visited that my sister was telling them that she was the one doing all those things for Mom, that she was doing everything as if I had never lifted a finger and she was the only one being an adult and taking care of things. Needless to say, Mom corrected everything very quickly. It was really painful because I had given up a lot to take care of my mother, including hating to have children because I couldn't trust my sister to help take care of her if I were pregnant. It turns out that my only chance to have children would have been during those years when I was busy taking care of Mom because my ovaries practically failed earlier than normal. My sister contributed a lot financially and I'm grateful for her doing that, but I think she felt like it didn't make her look good enough to our family, so she made up all that crap about how she did everything and I did nothing. Honestly, it's been almost 3 years and a part of me is still bitter with her about it. That's why I never confronted her about it because she tends to go all revisionist with things, and it would be pointless. But really, when I told my sister to come in for dinner, she was hitting balls in our garage. And here she immediately turned around and whacked a ball into my face at full force, breaking my nose and knocking me out. That was 20 years ago, and she hasn't talked to me because I hurt her in the past. Probably that time I found my brother trying on my panties to clarify he was probably 7 at the time. So there really was nothing scary about it. It was just weird. One of my sisters and I shared a room when we were about 14. One day, she showed me her jewelry box, which was full of her petrified poop wrapped in toilet paper. She then started showing me how to do it, putting the toilet paper on the toilet seat and said I could keep my poop too. When I was about 4 years old, my parents told my 13-year-old brother to take my sister and me for a walk for an hour. I guess my parents wanted some private time. He took us for a walk, all right. We were out for 12 hours. My parents were frantic, and the police were looking for us. God knows what he was thinking, but he's always been a bit of an idiot. When I was young, my family was leaving my grandparents' house after a weekend visit, and it was a long ride home, about 4 hours. I had to pee a lot, and my parents hated stopping. So I discreetly grabbed my empty water bottle and peed in it. It wasn't hard to hide, being in the back seat of an SUV. Well, I put it under the seat. After I finished, when I got home, I completely forgot. My parents cleaned the car later and thought they threw it away. But no, they put it in the fridge thinking it was a half-full bottle of soda. Well, I only realized it because my sister took a sip and screamed. She said it must be old being there forever because it tasted awful. I was horrified, but I took it from her, pretended to sniff it, and threw it away saying it was really spoiled. That's disgusting. My sister used to come into my room like a sleepwalker and just stare at me with this soulless, murderous look. It was creepy. I didn't know how to swim, so when I was in a pool, I would always stay on the side. When I was about 9 and my older brother was 14, we were at a crowded public pool. He convinced me to step away from the side of the pool, kick off with my legs, and he convinced me that I would just float on top of the water. I kicked off, went forward briefly, then my nose went straight to the bottom of the pool. I presumed my brother would come after me, but no, I was wrong. After about 15 seconds on the bottom and when I was starting to panic and swallow water, a hand reached down and pulled me up. It was my uncle who saved me. My brother was about 10 feet away when I was pulled up. My sister shoved a kernel of popcorn in my ear canal when we were about 4 or 5 years old. My brother, who never had a girlfriend, used to stroke my thigh because he wanted to touch a girl. As I grew up, we had a lot of orange trees. One time my brother was so upset with my sister. I don't even know what the hell she did, but my brother thought she deserved to be cornered and have a rotten orange shoved in her mouth. My sister got as much as she could in there. I yelled at him to stop, but I was about 9 years old at the time and no one listened to me. He was very violent as a teenager. I don't know whose conscience justifies something like that. So gross and random. One time, when my brother and I were teenagers, after hearing a strange knocking sound, I found him completely nude with a chair and knocking on the door. It was by far the strangest eye contact we ever had. My brother had barricaded one of the rooms in our house and wouldn't let my parents in. He was guarding that door like a dog with its puppies. I still wonder to this day what was going on. My brother couldn't find his hair gel and accused me of taking it because I used the same one as him. The whole family turned against me, and my two brothers canceled my graduation gift to Germany and went without me. They never had any proof that I stole it because I wouldn't. It's not even expensive, and I was living at home at the time. Mom could have bought me some if I asked. To this day, they haven't talked about it, and I'm still upset inside. My brother came home after his first week of college, sneaked into the house while we were sleeping, unpacked his bags, and went to bed. Then he woke up in the morning acting like he had never gone to college, refused to talk about it, and acted like we were all crazy when we brought it up. He was 10 years older than me, so I was only 8. I never remember my parents being so concerned. So leave your like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more stories, and click on the video that will appear now.